Those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, before we go, and if I can ask you guys to not come up on the stage area, I'd really appreciate that. This way, nobody blocks this big display behind me. It gives me a little bit of room to move around and do the whole hosting thing, right? Also, if you could, let me see. Oh, wait, what happened there? Okay, all right. Also, if I can ask you guys to not send me any text messages while I'm up here, I'd really appreciate that, because when you're up here and you get hit by a wall of text, it can really throw you off. So if you could save those until the end, I would really appreciate that. That would be great. Also, you may notice in your lower left, your menu wheel there, I notice at the very top of that is a microphone icon. And when that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear you and everything that's happening in your environment. I do mean everything. So we've gone ahead and we've turned that to red, and it kind of looks like this right here. And that means that you're muted. So if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, are you still on that thing? You feel free to answer them, because we're not going to hear any of that, right? Likewise, if maybe you have a barking dog in the background, you're not going to face social ruin by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during the event, right? Just because you're muted doesn't mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice in your menu wheel that you have a pink cheeked smiley face. Now, when you click on this, your emoji panel is going to open up in the air in front of you, and it's going to give you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself, right? So if I share something really deep, something powerful, and it starts to build up inside you, you can just let it out and let it flow just like that. Maybe I got some backup dancers backstage, right? And they come on out, and we break into It's Quest Time, the musical, and you're all very impressed by the production value. You can throw up the applause that I live for, and I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good, right? Now, if I ask you guys a yes or no question, you can say yes by smiling like this, or you can say no by frowning like that. If I say something funny, you can show me you're laughing by doing this silly face emoji right here. And then there's this thing. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis, right? I think we can agree on that. A big giant hand sticking out of your head. So we're going to use this as kind of a signal. This is going to be a way for you guys to let me know that there's a problem. Like if my voice goes choppy, or maybe my moderators have had enough and they set the stage on fire. That's happened before, and it's probably going to happen again. And I'm going to rely on you guys to let me know that. All right, now, if I only see one of them going up at a time, I'm probably going to keep on going, because it might be somebody messing around. But if I see 3 or 4 of you doing it, I know there's a problem I'm going to need to address, right? Now, you can also press the X in the middle of the emoji panel, and that'll close it. But it's a good idea to leave it open during events like this, because it gives me feedback. It lets me know how I'm doing. But more importantly, it lets the people around you know what you're experiencing, right? So if all of a sudden the person next to you starts going like this, that means they found something funny, right? And you may not agree. You might be like, that's not funny at all. I'm going to go stand over here. I don't know what's with that guy. And you can do that because, this is VR, and you can stand wherever you like, except on the stage, because we already agreed you guys wouldn't do that, and that's our sacred bond, people. That's our pact. All right, now, Quest Time is an event where we're going to discuss how you can get the most out of Altspace VR on your Oculus Quest or your Oculus Quest 2. All right, the original one and the Quest 2 as well. But before we set out, let me get an idea of what we're dealing with here. How many of you are on a Quest 2 right now? And show me hands up because you can, or show me some emojis or anything like that. All right, cool, good. All right, now, how many of you are on an original Quest? Any original Quest users here? Okay, there we go. How many of you are thinking about getting a Quest, or waiting for it to arrive, want to learn more about it? Okay, all right, cool. That gives me some idea how to set out. Thanks for that. That's awesome. All right, now, nice. Now, let's see here. Now, when I was waiting for my Quest to arrive originally, I started out in Altspace on an Oculus Go. Now, you may be aware that on an Oculus Go, you only have one hand, right? So, I grew up in Brooklyn, and I'm used to expressing myself with my hands a lot, right? And, but in Altspace, all anybody saw was my hand going like this, right? Just in one hand. So I couldn't wait for this thing to arrive. But when it did, when my original Quest arrived, I took one good look at the controls, and I was like, those are a lot of buttons. That's a lot to get used to. It's a lot to take in. So if you're new to the Quest, or you're new to VR, or you're new to Altspace, it's going to take you a few days to about a week or so to really get a handle on the controls and get to a point where you're not thinking about them anymore. And then when my Quest 2 arrived, I took a look at those buttons, and I realized, you know what? Those are pretty much the same buttons. All right, so there's not a lot of difference between the two devices in terms of the controls. The main difference is that on the side of the Quest 2 controllers, you have this little area over here for your thumbs. You have like a thumb rest. Now, on the original Quest, you could just rest your thumbs on the buttons or the thumbstick. But on the Quest 2, you also have this thumb rest area. And anytime you touch the thumbstick, the buttons, or the thumb rest without pushing down, you're going to find that your thumbs actually go down in Altspace. You can actually see your thumbs going down when you touch them. You don't got to put a lot of pressure on it. You just gently touch them, and it'll do that. Also, another difference that you have here is the bottom button down on the right and left controllers. On the original Quest, that's a flat button, and on the Quest 2, it's kind of concave, but they do the same thing. All right. So what I like to do is I like to go over over the controls to make sure everybody has a basic handle on it. But I understand that, if you're here, you already have a handle on some of the basics, like, the thumbstick's going to move you around like this. The right thumbstick's going to turn you in these circles. And when you combine them, you get these big elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. If you guys could just go into those big circles like this, because this way when I look out there, it's going to look like you guys are ballroom dancing. Let's take a look and see how you're doing. Oh, fancy. Very nice. That's excellent. If you want to, I always say, I wish you guys could see what this looks like. And now you can. If you stand over by this rug area here and you look up, you see Ravenhall floating in the air there. That's our YouTube camera. So in about a couple of weeks or so, you'll see this episode on YouTube, and you might see yourself dancing around here. And you can wave on out and be like, hey, YouTube, how's it going? We got a lot of people in here. We got Geordie Jord. We've got Ember the Jackal. We've got Neil Viro. We've got, we've got Old Man. We've got Coopity Scoop. We've got a lot of people in here. All right. So, yeah, that's our YouTube. And, to come on in Altspace, I think you'll enjoy it. Now, listen, if you're having a room scale experience, right, a lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to walk out past your main menu. And for some reason, that's the time when somebody's going to ask you to open your main menu. And you're going to be like, what main menu? And they said, that blue and white triangle, just go ahead and press that. And you're going to look down and look, there is no blue and white triangle. And they'll be like, yes, there is. It's right on your lower left. And you're like, I don't see it. Where'd it go? Right? Now, what happens is, like, when you walk out past it, it stays behind you. And you're looking around for the thing. I don't see it. And it's always behind you. That can get old pretty quick. Right? You have to remember that on a Quest or a Quest 2, that your main menu is in your hands at all times. Right? This bottom button on the left controller right there, right? That's your main menu button. If you on your Quest 2, it's going to be a concave button, and on your original Quest, it's going to be a flat button. But when you press this, your menu's going to open up there in front of you, right? And I like to combine it with a hand flick. I go like that, and my menu's open. And then I go like that, and my menu's closed. You don't have to do the hand flick. I just think it adds something, right? Also, you're going to notice that on your right controller, down toward the very top of it, next to the thumbstick, that raised up button there, that's your teleport button. Now, when you press on it, if everybody could join me, line up against this wall right here, right, and you press down on that teleport button, aim it at the floor, you're going to see a circle appear. That's your teleport target. Now, when you aim it across the room toward that brick wall, as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room. Everybody teleport over to me while there's still time. All right, now, on your left controller, if you hold down your left trigger, your index finger right there, that's going to be your accelerator button. Now, this is going to cause you to go faster whether you're walking or flying. So let's give that a try and go as fast as you can, right? Give me a giant circle right here. Let's go in a big circle, everybody. Now, if you're getting dizzy, you probably shouldn't do this thing, but let's see if we can keep it going for just a minute because I want to see what it looks like. Let's see how we're doing. That's not really a circle, but that's kind of circular. All right, yeah, we're getting there. It's starting to take shape. We're going to get a whirlwind going. Nice hurricane. Who's dizzy? Put your hand up if you're dizzy. Anybody getting dizzy? No, all right, you guys, we've got a couple of you. Are getting dizzy? You should probably stop doing that thing. All right. Now, listen, and got some tips for that if you do get dizzy in VR coming up real soon. Also, let's see here. Now, you also have to keep in mind that while these are a lot of buttons, some of them do the same thing, right? You're going to see on your right controller this bottom raised up button here. That's your select button. But it is also your right trigger, and if you have your left pointer enabled, you'll have one on your left controller too. Now, if you hold down your right trigger right now and move it through the crowd, you're going to see everybody's name tag appear above their head. That's how I know everybody's name so quickly, right? And, so you can just do that, and that's a really good way to, see whose everybody's name is. All right, now let's see here. Also, now, when I was first messing around with this stuff, also, if you face the stage with that accelerator button, right, we can go backwards really fast, and as you're going backwards, teleport at the floor, and you're going to be doing the Altspace moonwalk just like that, right? And I hope that's not a copyright violation because that would be bad. Also, you can also teleport backwards, which is pretty cool, and sometimes it's pretty handy. Like I came into the audience one time. I come down to the audience a lot, and when I was here, what I wanted to do is I wanted to teleport onto the stage, right? And so what I did was I raised my hand up over my head and I teleported backwards. All right, so yeah, you can teleport backwards, which is pretty cool. There are times where that can be pretty useful. All right, now, and when I first started messing around with this stuff, I was, coming into Altspace, and back then I would go to the Universe an awful lot. And, at the very end of the event, back then it was held in a large world. So I went up to the edge of the world, right? And as I'm getting close to the edge, I walked a little too far and I fell. Right, and as I'm falling, I look over and there's this cliff over there, and I aimed at it and I locked onto it with my teleporter button, and I launched onto it before I could respawn, right? Because it's not like you can get hurt in Altspace. But I knew in that moment that I was finally getting a handle on the controllers. I was finally starting to get used to it, and you will too. It only takes a few days to about a week or so, because it's going to come a moment where while you're always going to feel the plastic of the controllers in your hands, there's going to come a moment where these actually become your hands, where you no longer think about them. So if I say, "Hey, everybody, look out that window," and I'm pointing out the window, I don't actually think about how I'm pointing. It takes more effort to explain how I'm pointing than it does to just do it, right? If you hold down your grip buttons on the sides of your controllers, you're going to find that your hands go into a point. Now, you can use this to communicate in a variety of ways. You can give me like a Brooklyn hello. Everybody go like this. Give me a Brooklyn hello. There we go. Very nice. Very cool. All right, awesome. Now you can put them together like this and make kind of a triangle like the Altspace logo and hold it up. Show me some Altspace pride, everybody. Nice and high. Get a good stretch going on there. Yeah, we go. Very nice. All right. Now you can twist them around like this, kind of make a picture frame, right? Just like that. And maybe you can squeeze your trigger button like that, right? You get a little shutter action. Everybody be like, yeah, that's a great audience. Just like that, right? There we go. Snap, snap. How cool would it be to take a screenshot like that? That would be pretty neat. Also, if you combine your grip and your trigger buttons, you give me 2 thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job here. Maybe I'm not, and give me 2 thumbs down, right? Maybe you can combine them like this, right? It's this way. It's really haven't made up your mind yet. I've seen people doing this. I don't know what it means, but it looks cool, right? Now, and one time during the first Quest time that we ever had, somebody approached a stage and they were going like this. And I thought it was pretty cool, right? So I started doing it back. And then the whole audience started going like this. And you know what? That's the best way to pick this stuff up. When you see somebody doing something you like, do it back. All right, and you mirror it, and then in that way, you're going to make the gesture your own. And it's the best way to pick this stuff up. All right. Also, when I first came into Altspace on a Quest, and you may notice this yourself, that on the Quest and the Quest 2, you need to worry about your vertical height, right? Like occasionally, because when I first came into the campfire, I was like much taller than everybody else. You're going to see Devin doing it here. He just raised up, right? Now, Devin, show everybody what happens when you press down your left thumbstick. All right, just press down on that left thumbstick and show everybody what happens. You too, Seti Ricky. Just press down on that left thumbstick like it's a button, because it is. All right, boom, just like that. You see how he snapped right down on the ground like that? All right, so Ricky, you try it. Press down on your left thumbstick. There you go, boom, just like that. So if you feel like you're too tall or too short, right, just press down on that left thumbstick, and it's going to make you the same height as everybody else. Now, you can make minor adjustments to this by looking down when then you press down on that left thumbstick, and you're going to notice your avatar pops up a little bit, and this way you're going to be slightly taller, right? If you look up and press down on that left thumbstick, right, and now you're going to be slightly shorter. The movement is tied to your head. So if you want to be the same height as everybody else, just look straight ahead and press down on that left thumbstick, and boom. Your height's going to be set and you'll be more comfortable. All right. Now, there's another button on here you need to be concerned about, and that's on the right controller down toward the bottom, that concave button on the Quest 2, and it's flat on the original Quest. But this is important, this button. Don't press it now because if it disappears, I'm going to feel it. But this is your best way out of Altspace, and you need to think of it like an eject button. So like somebody comes in your space and says, hey, dinner's ready. You go, oh, got to go. And you just press that button. And then you're going to have a menu come up to ask you if you want to quit or resume. Now, this is great if you press it by accident. You danced around the Universe, all of a sudden you press that button by accident. No, you rejected at Altspace. You just press resume, you come right back in. No one will even notice you were gone. This way, Yuji won't destroy you with awesome admin powers, right? Now, also, if you're going to, while you're doing that, you may want to do this on purpose, right? Like, for example, let's say that I look out the window, and as I turn my head back to look at all of you, the whole world moves with me. Right. And, and that can make you feel kind of dizzy when that happens. Right. So you're going to need a way out fast. So you press that bottom button, that eject button, you press quit, and then you just restart the app. And this is going to take care of most of the problems that you can have in Altspace. But occasionally something more severe might happen. Right. Something like, let's say like I look over there out the window and I notice there's a black edge on my screen. And I'm like, oh, no. Right. And then I see it's on the right side of the screen. It's on the top. It's on the bottom. And I'm like, oh, no, it's spreading. And then all of a sudden my friends are all frozen in space like this. So what do? I press that bottom eject button and nothing happens. And then I'm like, Michael Forrest, you lied to me. I'm going to have my revenge. That's not what's going on, right? It doesn't just happen in Altspace too. Occasionally your device is going to freeze up like that. And the best thing you can do is restart your device. Now, when I first got my original Quest, I would actually take the device off to restart it, okay? And this isn't good in the sense that, it takes a while for it to restart. And if you have your device plugged in and it's not in a charge cycle, the light isn't lighting up. And you can get the feeling like there's something wrong with your device. I find it pays to know how to restart the headset while it's still on your head. And the way you do this is you take your right index finger and you swipe it up and down on the right side of the device until you feel that raised up power button, right? And then you take your left index finger and you kind of squeeze it together. This way your headset doesn't go all over the place. You squeeze it together. And so now that you're pressing that button, you hold that down. And I find it helps to look down and go into a deep concentration pose, right? And after about 4 seconds, you concentrate so hard, your avatar just disappears and you get plunged into darkness, but you don't let go. You hang on. You're going to ride that out. After about 10 seconds go by, you're going to find that, why does Oculus make it take so long? I don't know. After about 15 seconds, you start thinking about friends you haven't seen in a while. You wonder how they're doing. After about 20 seconds go by, well, you start thinking about life. You start thinking about the big questions. And after 20-something seconds go by, all of a sudden, out of the darkness, the Oculus logo is going to appear like the bat signal. But don't let go. As soon as that Oculus logo starts to pulse, then you take your fingers away just like that. and you're going to find that your device starts up normally, and this is going to take care of most of the problems you can have, not just in Altspace, but in other apps as well. Now, very occasionally, you are going to notice that when you go to do this, right, sometimes it won't be enough. Like there was recently, I actually had a problem where I'd start Altspace, and after about 2 minutes, all of a sudden Altspace would close. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what was going on. So I uninstalled the app, I reinstalled it, and the same thing kept on happening. And I was worried because I had an event coming up. So what I did was, I had to do what's called a factory reset. All right, now you got to be careful if you have to do a factory reset, because if you have any photos saved on your device, you're going to lose those, right? Likewise, you're going to lose any settings that you may have. You're going to have to re-download all of your apps. The good news is you won't have to pay for them again, right? And this actually took care of the problem. It made everything better. It puts the headset back the way it was the day it was you first got it, okay? And wow, you're getting very excited there, Damien. You got the hands flying around like that, right? There you go. All right, cool. Very nice. Body language is awesome in Altspace. It really is. All right, so now let's see. Now, so once the factory reset, when you do this, it's going to put everything back the way it was when you got it. All right, so it's a good thing to know, but only use it in an emergency, because you will lose stuff. You might even lose your Beat Saber scores. So in that way, it's serious business. All right, and let's see here. Now, also, if you're here today, you're already familiar with the Guardian system, right? You danced with the robot, you played with those blimps there. You had that's a good time right there. But you may not be familiar with how to use the Guardian system to your advantage. Like for example, or before I mentioned getting dizzy in Altspace, right? When that happens, one thing you can do if you're new to VR, especially, and you get dizzy very easily, what you can do is take a good, and this doesn't matter what device you're on. What you could do is take a good look at your hand, right? And when you take a look at your hand, you focus on that. And as you focus on it, what you're going to find is that, the dizziness starts to pass. And when it does, you take that hand away, right? And take a good look at the world around you. And after that, you'll find that that'll really help. But you can also use your Guardian system for this purpose too. But I like to tell people when they mess with their Guardian system to be very careful that you don't, because you don't want to damage your device. You certainly don't want to injure yourself. So what it helps to lead with your hands when you're walking around your space, right? You kind of stick your hands out a little bit, right? And when you do that, that grid's going to, when you get close to an edge, that grid's going to appear in the air in front of you, right? But so let's say I walk up to my real world wall right now. And as I do so, all right, as soon as I get close, that grid appears. Now I can still touch my thumbsticks, right? And now, so that means I can move my avatar around while I'm standing still in front of my real world wall. And what I can do is I can line up the grid with my real world wall, just like that. Right, so now that this display is lined up my real world wall, and I can take a moment to take that in and see how I did. And as I back up from it, oh no, I've fallen off the stage and I'm in the audience. Now let's say you guys aren't a nice audience, right? Everybody come on over here and just mess with me. Try to make me dizzy, stick your hands in my face, give me the worst you got, and let's see how you do. All right, it's not bad, but as long as I can still see that display, I'm going to feel very balanced and dizzy, and there's really nothing you can do that's really going to throw me off too much. I did kind of mess up the word dizzy just now, but really, honestly, it's very comfortable, because as long as I can see that display, I feel connected to the real world. It's kind of like a reality anchor, and you don't have to use something that big. Like you notice, like the edge of the stage here, you can line this up with a real world table or maybe a real world desk or something like that, right? That can help an awful lot. Another thing you can do is you can transition between a real world, you can transition between a standing experience and a room scale experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace. So let's say I'm up here, right? And listen, I'm coming up on my 500th event real soon, right? That's a lot. And I'm tired. I need to sit down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the edge of my space, and as soon as that grid appears, I'm going to stick my hands through to make sure I got enough room for my head. And as soon as I move my head through, that pass-through camera will go off. Now they also have an experimental feature where you can go tap right on the side of your device, and you'll be able to see the real world. Now, see, I got my coffee mug right there. Take a sip of that. Throw that down. I'm going to have to clean that up later. And then I got my chair sitting right over there. So what I can do is I can go on over into my chair, turn around, and as soon as I sit down in my chair, right, I'll find, press that blue button saying I want to have a stationary experience, right? And as soon as I press that blue button, I'm going to find that not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never actually left. And it was one time I was moderating an event where I felt like getting up and walking around. It was almost over. So I figured I would get up and I would step into my Guardian and it would be fine. Right, but occasionally your Quest is going to lose your Guardian due to changing light levels, and for one reason or another, it can't resolve where it is in your space quickly enough. So it asks you to draw a new boundary, which normally is not a big deal. All right, but when there's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a very big deal. So I start drawing out that boundary real quick, and as I'm drawing that boundary out, I start wondering, why is my play space so big? And of all the days I had to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today? So what happens is as soon as I close that loop, right, I find that not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never actually left. All right. So that works in both directions. You can, sit down, you can stand up, however you want to be comfortable. If you're at an event and you feel, oh, I really feel like sitting down, you totally can. You get, charged up. You're like, wow, this quest time is really exciting. The host is so motivating. I want to get up and I want to move. You totally can do that. Just be careful. Always lead with your hands, right? And remember that you can, switch back and forth between these experiences pretty effortlessly. There's another cool thing you can do, and this isn't useful. It's just cool. What you can do is you can go up to the edge of your Guardian, right? And as soon as you make sure you got enough room for your head to go through it, right? And as soon as you move your head through it, you're going to see the real world with a pass-through camera. Try doing this super slow, because when you do it super slow, you're going to be able to see both realities at the same time. Now, in Altspace, avatars are about 6 feet tall, and they're a lot wider than you would think. And this really isn't going to register until you see them in a familiar environment, like your living room or your office or wherever it is you VR from. Okay, now let's see here. Let's see what else we got. Now, one of the great things about the Quest is it just works. Now, this doesn't mean it can't work better. Right? There's a lot of accessories that can really improve the experience, and but on the Quest 2, some of these accessories are kind of necessities, because that head strap that the Quest 2 comes with, a lot of people think that's uncomfortable, right? And a lot of people prefer the Elite strap or the Elite battery strap also. Now, for me, I started using the Elite strap, and before I start recommending products, before I start, we're going to be putting on our site a list of all the items that can really help. Before I do that, I want to feel comfortable recommending them, right? And I'd heard a lot of people using the Elite strap; it was breaking on them. But I tell you what, the other night I had this thing where I was in VR and I actually walked right into a wall. All right, those real worlds are they're a menace and they need to be stopped. All right, and the headset held; it was great. It took a really hard hit, and that head strap was fine. So while it is breaking for some people, I think, it's maybe kind of a thing where they just got to improve the construction of it somewhat. But listen, if you have tried an accessory for the Quest 2, I want to hear about it, because we are assembling the list. Any of the accessories you see behind me for the original Quest that you want to try out, you can find them by going to altvr.com. And at altvr.com, you're going to find on the upper left, there's a link that says channels. Now, when you press on channels, you're going to see, all these great Altspace event channels. And down toward the very bottom, you're going to see Ravenhall. Not that that means anything. You're going to find Ravenhall events, like it says on the back wall up there. Now, when you click on this, you get taken to our event page, and there you're going to see all these products listed out on the left-hand side. And in the coming weeks, we're going to have items there for the Quest 2 as well, after we've had a chance to try some of that stuff out. And also down at the bottom, you'll see a join Discord button. If you have any questions after today, we're happy to take them there. Or if you want to help us put on events like this, that's where we organize all that stuff. Now, in the upper right of that page, you're going to see the most important button on the internet, and that's the subscribe button. Now, when you press this, Altspace knows, like, gets, tell us that you can like our content, and we don't get paid to do this. So every time we see that number go up, it makes us feel great. It's even better when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you are watching that on YouTube and you want to try any of these products, you'll find them in the links in the description below. Right now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open it up for questions. And if you have tried any of these accessories, I want to hear about it. So you're going to notice a raise hand button appears in the lower right, as if by magic. Right, it'll be right there. Now, also, you're going to find, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, you can find us at Ravenhall VR. And if anyone's wondering what the shark's all about, this is because we have an event called It's Shark Time. Now, at It's Shark Time, we give away world building kits. It's a game show. It's a lot of fun. We're running the next one this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So you can find us in the all section of the event tab of your main menu. So if you want to come visit us, come see us, and we'd love to have you. All right, let's see. We have now John. John, you're on the air, and I feel like a radio host. What's going on, John? Let's see. It looks like I'm having trouble getting you on the air there. Okay, I think you got to press that consent button, John. Maybe you pressed the button by accident. All right, that's possible. All right, let's see. John, you out there? Where are you, John?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Oh, you disappeared. Oh, no. Okay, let's see. Oh, it must have looked accidentally. Now we got ABZ Tracks. ABZ Tracks are on the air. Where are you
Yes,
at?
Altspace, thank you.
Hey, what's up? Oh, wow, your microphone is super loud. Your microphone is super loud. Well, turn that down a little bit, man. What's your mic setting at?
0.
0? Or maybe put that down to -1, because it's super loud. It's nice and clear, though. Yeah, that's perfect. That's awesome. I heard my voice is being choppy. Does anyone else think my voice is choppy? I just got a message about that. Yeah, a little bit. All right, let me re-enter the space, because that'll clear my throat out here. That's how you clear your voice in Altspace. I'll be right back. It'll only take a minute. 1 second here. Damien's saying he's muted. We'll take care of that in just a moment. Be right back.
So I still got the word. Sounds like it.
Go. Now I'm unmuted.
Okay, that should have taken care of that. Let's see how we're doing here. All right.
Now I can actually...
What's
headset for this.
You got kicked. Okay. That can happen. Sometimes it's bad aim. Maybe you were doing something disruptive. I'm not quite sure what happened there. You know, that's, moderators make those calls. Sometimes it could be bad aim. If you get kicked from an event, never take it personally. And it must not have been that bad if you got back in. All right. So here we go, everybody. Let's see. Now, let's see. What questions do we have here? We had ABZ Tracks. You're still on the air there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
what's going on, ABZ?
Yeah,
well, what's up?
I wondered if you had a nice charging solution, because I almost just ran out of battery and I was sitting with my head tilted because it's charging.
You know, there's a couple ways to deal with it.
Yeah.
One, if you're having a seated experience, you can use it while it's plugged in. The cable on the Quest 2 is kind of short, so you're gonna have to make sure it's kind of near your head. Maybe you can use an extension cord for that purpose as well, or get a longer cable. That's possible. Another thing you could do is get an external battery pack. They do have the Elite strap with the battery on it that lasts a very long time, but you can also get one of those Anchor makes these great power packs that last for about 16 hours. You can use one of those. That's a really great solution. So yeah, you don't have to worry if you're running out of battery pack and you need to stay longer in VR, then you're going to want to use an external power solution. The only thing you have to keep in mind is if you do, you want to make sure that your headset is fully charged, because what happens is when you use an external battery pack, if your headset's in what's called a trickle charge, it's going to actually last longer before your external battery runs out and then the main batteries kick on. All right. So because your device has a low battery, it's not going to be in a trickle charge anymore, and it's going to have to work harder. So you're going to want to make sure that the device is 100% power when you do plug it into an external battery pack. So you'll have a better experience performance-wise that way. All right, let's see. We have time for one more, so let's take. Let's see. We have Mattias 41. What's going on, Mattias? You're on the air, and I feel like a radio show host. What's going on?
Oh, I was here last time, and
Wait, you muted yourself again there, Mattias. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, you're gonna have to press that raise hand button again. You were here last time, and all right, press that raise hand button for me if you would. Get you back and see what you're having to say. All right, there you go. All right, here you go, Mattias. What's up?
Oh yeah, remember last time I had told you that the lead strap hadn't come in yet, and I was kind of like upset about it.
Did
Well,
it
it
arrive?
finally came in. Yeah, it came in yesterday.
How do you like
and,
it?
Like, bro, it's amazing. Like, cause I like to play
Isn't
for
it
a
great?
while. I've had the PSVR and stuff, so I'm really used to like going on for like a few hours. But with like out it, I could only go like 2, 3, and now I could go like 6 or 7. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very comfortable. Yeah, I'm glad it arrived.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome
very
news.
comfortable.
Very good. Very cool. All right, so let's see here. We also have, let's see, who else do we have here? We also have Damien. Damien, you're on the air. What's up?
So when are we going to start the quest?
When are we going to start the quest? How do you mean? Okay, you disappeared. Actually, I do get that a lot because, just to explain, the title slide that we have is kind of a metaphor. It's not to be taken literally, right? It's called the quest. You think knights, armor, going on a quest together. And I thought that would make a great title, but we do have actually have people coming in asking, when are we going on that? But you know what? We actually do go on kind of a quest at the end of our events because when I press this button here, this red button on the wall, you're going to see a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft fly down the street and over those trees outside, and it's going to land in the backyard to take us out to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Because at the end of our events, if you haven't already done so, we teach you guys how to fly in Altspace. And if you have any further questions, we can take them there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press this button here, and you're going to see, and take a look out this window because you're going to see it fly down the street. Here we go.
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
Now, this is a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft, right? And you can fly these things. So we'll give you a chance to fly them at the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Come on out and join us by coming out through this doorway here and going out to the backyard area so we can meet it as it comes in. And listen, if you've learned anything here today, please share it with those you come in contact with. So if, somebody's standing down there and you go, hey, what's wrong? You're like, oh, and they're like, I'm on a quest and I'm stuck on the ground. You tell them to press down on that left thumbstick. They'll pop up and they'll feel better. You'll feel better because you help someone. And that's how we help keep this thing going. Here we
Talon
go.
aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. You've been a great audience. Just step on this blue light and I'll see you there.